All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the PLR Show for tonight. And we are in this training, and what we do on Tuesday nights is we get into how to use your PLR content in a way that is going to help you to generate more sales, in order to help you to generate more income in your online marketing business. And you pretty much have an open floor to ask any questions that you might want to ask regarding PLR and how you can use it. So if you have been purchasing PLR and you want to start getting to the point where you can actually start putting it to use, this is your time to ask any question that you might have about it. And I will do the best I can to answer it. I'm pretty sure just about anything that you have, I can probably answer it. And if I can't answer it on the call, I can definitely find the answer to it. So again, welcome to the call. And those of you who are here, any questions? Okay, any questions about PLR? Okay, so we've got one question from Sylvia. And Sylvia wants to know, how do I edit products? Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to share my screen here. And I am in Google. So let's take a look at a PLR product. I'm going to take a look at, let's see, one I've got open here. And branding BP conversions. And in this particular case, the thing that I would be editing would be the sales letter, right? The sales letter. So let's go ahead and go inside of the sales letter. So in this particular PLR package, the person that sold us the PLR, they're going to have a Word document, they're going to have an HTML file and a PDF file. So the easiest thing for us to do is always going to be to edit the HTML, because once we get done with the HTML, and let me size this up for you. I'll try to size this up some. Okay, so you've got your HTML documents, you got your PDF documents, and your and your Word documents. So the easiest thing is always going to be to edit the HTML document. And I'm going to go inside this HTML folder. And one of the things I'm going to notice right away, I'll size this up for you. One of the things you want to take note of right away is that you have here what's called the index file. You have the thank you file, and then you have images. So we're going to assume that the person who sold us the PLR has made it so that all I have to do is upload these files to my website, and then they're going to appear correctly. So the file that I'm going to need to edit, right, is going to be the index file, because the index file is the one that I put inside of a directory that's actually going to show me what I want to see in terms of the website. All right, so I'm going to right click this if I'm in a Windows computer. And you're going to be given a couple of options when you do that, right? And I don't know if you can see that, but one of the options you're going to have here in the Windows is it's going to be one that says open with, and it's trying to coax you into figuring out how you want to open the file. Now, if you have what's called an HTML editor, right, you will be able to edit the file. If you don't, you will need to get one if you're going to do that. Now, you'll notice that I have a little green box there, and that's for Adobe Dreamweaver, which comes with Creative Cloud. Now, you may not have Adobe Dreamweaver. You may not have an HTML editor. Now, I'm going to show you where you can get a free one, and we're just going to go right back here online, and we're going to look. There are a couple of HTML editors that we can get. We can get one called NVU. If you just Google NVU, right, you're going to see it right here at the top. I'll size that up for you. Okay, this first listing is going to be NVU, and it's going to be it's just going to kind of be a plain website, and it's going to have here where you can download it either for Windows or for Composer. You can see that it's in purple. I've already downloaded this for a demo that I did. So once you download NVU, you're going to have an HTML editor. The other thing that you can use is called Composer, right? And it's pretty much the same thing as NVU. If you're going to have a Windows computer, I would suggest that you just go ahead and use NVU as your HTML editor. Okay, so so just so that I'll know, how many of you all are with me so far? How many of you all are with me? So if you understand what I've done so far, please put the number 1 in the question box. You understand that you need an HTML editor. If you don't have one, you have to go get one. And if you need one, that there's one that's free on Google. Right now, you all have heard me say, you have heard me say that you are going to always need to have a little HTML, right? And I do understand that, you know, not everybody knows a little HTML. HTML is something that's almost semi-essential. Now, again, when you actually start generating a little more, you're going to have somebody to do this for you. As a matter of fact, you know, if you have someone young in your house, if you have a son, a daughter, or you have a niece or a nephew, I would really assign them to learning HTML. Right? If they're technically inclined, I would definitely incline them to do that, because eventually you really don't want to do this kind of work forever. Right? I'm just going to show you just enough to be dangerous, and I want to say this at the outset. This is not a good use of your time. Okay, and take it from somebody who's done this, and take it from somebody who's spent a lot of time doing HTML when he should not have for my own stuff. You want to find someone who can do this for you. Now, you need to know just enough to be able to know what's going on, but you do not need to learn it so that you can do all of this stuff. So, okay, so that's just, I just say that parenthetically. Now, okay, so let's say that I download NVU. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use Dreamweaver for this. And I'm going to go back to this file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click it. And then I'm going to go to open it with Adobe Dreamweaver. Right? You would use NVU. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over. And you're going to see that in Dreamweaver, and it's pretty much going to be the same thing when you're in NVU. You want to be able to split your screen so that you can see the code and the picture at the same time, so that you know what you're adjusting, you know what you're changing. Okay, now when you do that, what you're going to want to do is you want to kind of look at the sales page to see what it is that you're going to be editing. Okay, so we can see here, this says from the desk of your name, right? From the desk of your name. We want to edit that, right? We want to edit that, and we want to do that. Let's see, we want to come here and we want to change that. So I'm going to change this now to Charles Terrence Harper. Again, this is not going to be a training on HTML, but what I did was pretty simple. And if you start looking at the code, you're going to be able to figure out what it's actually doing. And one of the ways that you do that is you just kind of make sure that you're looking at the words in the code and then where they appear on the screen. Right. So now I'm gonna just click that, and you'll notice that on the sales page, my name changed to Charles Terrence Harper. Now this then says, "Dear business owner." Let's say I don't like that. Let's say that I might want to say, "Dear." Let's just say, "Dear." I like to say, "Dear frustrated marketer," or something. Right. Let's say I want to change that, and then that's going to change. So I'm making all of my changes inside of the HTML code. Okay, so just so you know, if I'm doing all of my changes inside of an HTML code, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through this letter. Now, let's say that I want to change some of these things, some of the images I just kind of want to leave there. And I'm pretty much going to want that to kind of just be there. I'm going to change this. Let's say I want to change this to my name. I'm going to find this in the code. I'm going to change that to Charles Terrence Harper. Okay, and then I'm going to slide down here, and then that's going to be pretty much it. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to save the index file. I'm going to save it right where it is. Okay, yeah, and Rob makes a good point. All the text that would be safe to change is in white. Okay, and actually, to be honest, I know just enough about this stuff to be dangerous. So that's something I honestly did not know, that and a way to identify that. So one of the things you want to do, and one of the things that I do, is I like to take a look at how it's going to look in the browser. And so in order to do that, whenever you've got the images and you've got the index file in the same folder, I just click that browser so that I can see how it's going to look. Right now, I haven't put this on my server, but I can see how the sales page is going to look here. Right, and if I need to make any more changes. Okay, maybe I want to eliminate some of this white space down here. Maybe I want to eliminate some of this white space, but I can make basic changes to my sales page by, I'm going to come back here to Dreamweaver, doing it in Dreamweaver. Okay, so now another way I can do this is I can also do now, if I really want to do this, right, I could go into my doc file, right? And this is for those who have Microsoft Word, right? You're going to notice that it's got the text in here, right? But it doesn't have any code in here, right? So what you want to do here in Microsoft Word is, if there's anything in the letter itself, you might want to make the changes in here when you're given these. You're not always going to be given a sheet like this where you can make those changes. In this particular case, the owner of the PLR did, and they gave us the opportunity to make any changes on this page that we want. Okay, so once we've actually done any changing that we're going to do, I'm going to go back here. Once we've actually made all the changes here, we can then just take this entire folder, or we can take this folder, the images folder and the index folder, and we can upload that to our website. We can upload that to a subdirectory. We can upload that to a website, and I'll kind of show you what's going to happen when we do that. Let's take a look here. I'm going to pull up. I'm going to pull up here. Let's see. Let's pull up. I'm going to find a site. And I'm going to create a directory here. Okay, I'm off screen right now. That's why you can't see me. I'm just going to create a directory fast. I'm going to call this test webinar test. Okay, I'm going to open up my directory, and then I'll be right with you. I'll come right over there. All right, now. Okay, so I'm inside of my HTML editor, and so I'm now inside of the directory that I just created. And all I need to do in order to upload those documents would be to select a subdirectory and then drag and drop these files up to my server. right? Okay, so now I've got my index file here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to test to see how this looks. And I'm going to drop this into my browser here. Okay, I'm going to slide that in here. I'm just going to click index, and then there's our site. And actually, whenever we put the index file in here, we can actually, you don't have to type in the index file, right? Actually, the index file just makes sure we could just type in webinar test and it would actually be here, right? So it's the same thing. So all the index file really does is it lets the web know that we're looking for the home page, right? So we could type in index, or we don't have to type in index. Whenever you want to have it appear in that site, you would just have to know the index file. And so that's what you want to edit. Yep, the webinar is being recorded, Juan Carlos. Okay. Okay, so does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, so one of the things that you want to do, and I really want to encourage you, only to learn this, not for you to do it, but to learn it well enough so that you can outsource it and start doing this from the start the right way. And the right way to do this is either to when you get the opportunity, if someone, you buy a product and someone gives you the opportunity to buy a setup, right? Unless it's just an exorbitant amount of money, it's worth your time to actually go ahead and pay for the setup. And the reason I say that is because you and I, right? You and I can have a horrible looking sales page, and we can actually still make money and make sales. The important thing is not going to be whether or not you got your sales page perfect. The important thing is going to be whether or not you did the marketing. And so if you have to spend your time one place or the other, again, my recommendation is to you, I'm showing this to you because I want you to know it, and because I want you to be, again, like me, I know just enough to be dangerous. And I know everybody doesn't have a luxury I have. I have daughters that I can ask to do this stuff, right? But that being said, I don't want to do it, not because I'm too good for it, but because if I don't spend my time marketing and I don't spend my time learning how to be a better marketer, sales don't get made. And I did this early on when I first got started. I spent a lot of time learning how to do this stuff, which is kind of like why I can show you how to do it. I probably spent too much time doing it. So I just want to tell you that parenthetically, learn it well enough so that you can show someone how to do it who's going to work for you, and then spend your time with marketing. But Sylvia, great question. I appreciate it. Okay, next question. Any questions? Okay, while you come up with your questions, I'm going to start just a little bit of what I was going to share with you tonight. And it's not very much. And I want to talk to you about a list building progression. And okay, so let's talk about building a list, and let's talk about how you go about this from actually creating a product. And I know I talk about this a lot because I think it's the easiest way to get started. And the easiest thing to do, guys, is always going to be to send out an affiliate offer and send it out on social media. And I understand that. The only thing that I would say about that is that long term, you can't build a list that's going to be loyal to you if all you're doing is sending out links, right? And so eventually, you and I have to be able to provide some value. And I'm going to show you and talk about that a little bit tonight, because it's not as hard as it is as it is requiring your time to put into it, right? So let's talk about that. Okay, so let's say that you launch a product on the Warrior Forum. Let's say you launch a product on the Warrior Forum and you get some sales, and then you're going to have a buyer's list. And I showed you that a couple of weeks ago, that whenever you launch a product, you are actually going to have a buyer's list, because you're going to set up your autoresponder so that whenever you get a sale, you're actually going to have that person put on your autoresponder. Okay, so does everybody understand that, what I just said? Right. Okay. Oh, let's see. Okay. So Carolyn, you've got a question here. Okay. So does everyone understand that? Does everybody understand what I just said about the fact that when you launch a product and then you have your autoresponder set up, then your buyers then becomes your buyers list. That's how you create a list. Okay. So let's see. You're delivering your product by the GMP autoresponder to ensure I'm building an email list. I created a coupon for 100% off test funnel. Received an error when I clicked the payment button that the amount was invalid due to $0. Okay, so how do you test a funnel in GMP? Okay, let's see. And let's try something. Let's try something a little different here. That's a good question, and I think I might know the answer to this. And let's see. Okay, now Rob is saying you might have to sandbox your PayPal. I mean, that is a way to do it. Now, I have not actually done that. That is a viable way to do it. Let's see. Let's see if we can just create a funnel. And let's see. I'm not really sure if I can what I'm going to put together, but let's see if we can put together. Okay, so the sandbox, Liana, is a place on PayPal for you to be able to test your transactions. Now, traditionally, PayPal, I'm gonna give you the link here. Okay, so I'm going to send you the link to Sandbox here. Sandbox is a little complicated, and that's why I have not used it. Maybe what I can do is I will either consider doing maybe I'll do a training on this. But that is one way to do it. But okay, but let's see if we can just kind of rig this thing to do what we need to do. Okay, so let's see. So we should have a link there. I don't have my payment options set up. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here's my link. And so let's see. I'm gonna then do my coupon. Coupon Charles expiring on the 12th. Coupon type. Let's try fixed amount. Let's try 17 bills. Let's go active. Let's add the coupon. Okay, so let's go back to the funnel. And then let's just see. And again, I'm kind of learning this as we do this. I can't remember who asked the question. I think it's Carolyn. And I might have to just kind of investigate it. So we're just going to kind of see if this works here, Carolyn. So I'm going to visit that page, and then I'm going to put in Charles, as they call me. I don't know why they call me that. Charles is my name. And I'm going to click verify coupon code. Okay, so then I've actually got a $0 amount. Now, Carolyn, is that what you get when you tried? Have you tried a coupon that was the exact amount? Yeah. So let's see what. Okay, so you did. So okay, let's see. Okay, yeah. It's looking for an amount. Okay, so you tried 100% off. I just tried $17 off. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to take a look at that, Carolyn. I did not know that. But I will take a look at that and then get with either Dwayne, because I'm not really sure how you would do that. I'm not entirely sure how you do that, but I will find out the answer. So I will put that on my list of things, and then I think I should be doing a call either on Thursday, and if I can't do it on Thursday, I'll definitely have it for the Q&A for the weekend. So Thursday, I'm going to do the traffic training. I will try to. I'll definitely have it for the Q&A for Thursday for Saturday. No, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have the answer for you. You know what? One thing to do, and I think Linda raises a good point, is to do it for $1 or small dollar amount. And the small dollar amount, I don't think bothers PayPal. And if you think it's going to bother them, what you do is I call them whenever I'm going to be doing something that looks a little out of the ordinary. And I would just tell them, hey, I'm going to be doing some transactions testing my sales page. I'm going to be doing some small dollar amounts. Yeah. So Carolyn, that is how. Let's say that you got to do this before I get back to you on Saturday. What I would do, and this is typically what I do anyway, is I like to see the dollar actually come into my PayPal. And so I like to do that, yeah, and just do the transaction for $1. Okay. All right. So Telly is asking, would I edit this kind of setup if I had WordPress hosting through cPanel? Is there a PHP website? Okay. So yeah, and as a matter, that's a great question, because now in this particular case, Telly, I actually have a WordPress site on that domain. So WordPress will still allow you to use your public HTML You just cannot use any of the directories that WordPress is using, right? And in fact, it'll just give you an error message if you try. So what I have done is I have actually used the directories and subdirectories where I already have WordPress hosting. I still will use those directories because sometimes you're going to need to upload files that you're going to have to make them downloadable anyway. And so the only way you'd be able to do that and make your files downloadable is you'd have to be able to use that site. And you can use that site through FileZilla or cPanel. So yes, you can. You can still do that. Great question. Yep, that's a very good question. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so while you think of your questions, I'm going to go back to my presentation. Feel free to interrupt me with any of your questions about PLR. So let's go back here. And okay, so how do you get the email from the sale to go into your autoresponder? Okay, now so there are two different things. Okay, so if you were using Genius, if you're using Genius Paydays, what you're going to do is you are going to you're going to set that up directly. Let's talk about Genius Marketing Pro first. Right, and in general, and I could be getting this mixed up here. Okay, so there are a couple of things that you want to do. Okay, so when this product is going to be delivered, right? One of the first things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to edit this email, right? You're gonna edit this email, and one of the things is you're gonna put in this email, and you're gonna give them access to one more thing that you're gonna need to send them to in order for them to get access to, and it should not be the actual product. It can be a bonus. It can be one more. It could be extra training. It can be a webinar. You're going to have them opt in from this email, right? That's in Genius Marketing Pro. Inside of Genius Paydays, the way it's going to work is that you are actually going to have the transaction go direct to it. And it's actually going to happen. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Goodness gracious. St. Ignatius. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I lost track of my my screen here. Okay, so I'm inside of Genius Paydays, and what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to set up the after sale autoresponder, right? And I'm just going to have it either go to whichever one I want here. Okay, so that's sort of that. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to set up my autoresponder integration. Right, and eventually, now this is going to connect direct to my product, but as of right now, what I'm going to do inside of my product is I'm going to size this up. And I'm actually going to go to my setup, and I'm going to edit this email message, and I'm going to make sure that when the customer, now again, for PayPal's purposes, you don't want to get in between your buyer and the product. When they buy, they need to get the product. But what you're going to do is you're actually going to be directing them to you're going to be directing them to a landing page. You're going to be directing them to a page either to get something where a bonus. You're going to be giving them a webinar. You're going to be giving them something else that they need to opt in for, right? And when they opt in for it, that's how they're going to be added to your list. Now I'm going to tell you about a couple of things here that might be a little technical, but I think you'll understand it. Okay, whenever an autoresponder sends out messages, right? An autoresponder sends out two kinds of messages. An autoresponder sends out messages where they have double opt-in. An autoresponder will also send out messages that are single opt-in. Double opt-in messages get top priority and are actually sent out in a different bucket than single opt-in. Double opt-in messages, or people who have been double opted in, will typically always get delivered. Single opt-in, they get delivered, but there's a chance that they might not. Anytime that you can get someone to double opt in, that is going to be treated by spam folders and by your autoresponder as a higher quality email that is being sent. That's why even if you can get a buyer's list where you have a case where the buyer is auto opted in, the autoresponder, as well as the spam folders, as well as your ISP, they're not going to treat them at the same in the same quality. It's a very little known and little discussed fact, because again, as marketers, we just want the list. However, the autoresponder does treat double opt-in that you get. Right? So you always, even let's say, even if you get a single opt-in email, right? Even if you get it, you want to try to get that person to double opt in, because again, when that person goes into that bucket, they become a higher quality lead in the eyes of the autoresponder. And sometimes I have heard marketers complain about Aweber and GetResponse and about delivery rates and about how they suck. Some of that, quite honestly, is because yes, it's harder to get someone to opt in and double opt in. It's harder, but you are a marketer, right? And so what you want to do is you make sure you get in front of them, not to get their product, but as soon as they get it, that they can get something they really want and that they double opt in for it. Okay. So that's very important. And so in this case with Genius Marketing Pro, you're going to actually send them to, now you could send them to a landing page. You could still do single opt-in, but you want to try to do it in a way that you get the double opt-in, because they're going to be a higher quality lead. Yes, Liana, it is double opt-in by default. Yep, double opt-in by default. Good question. All right, any other questions? I'm out of coffee. Okay, it's about 9:43. I know I was a little bit late. I think I was a little bit late, 2 or 3 minutes late. Vern is asking, do you use mostly WordPress for your marketing sites or something else? I mostly use WordPress. Yes, sir. And I will tell you that I primarily use WordPress, and I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told you a little bit at the beginning. I think Sylvia had a question. I know a lot of marketers, and I was one of them. I spent a lot of time looking at plugins and looking at themes and things like that. I no longer do that. The time you're going to be spending with plugins and themes, probably not worth your time. If you want to sell a plugin, fine. If you're talking about, I'm going to add this plugin, it's going to do this kind of thing, I would get one theme, learn how to use excuse me, learn how to use that one theme. I use Optimize Press, and it's not even because I think it's the best. It's because it is the easiest to make something that looks decent. And whatever it was, I paid it, right? I paid it. And I don't, and I do not try to use other themes. I don't try to learn other themes. I don't have time. I could, but it would take away from me learning things that are actually going to, I think, help me to serve my customers better. It's going to get in the way of me doing those things, and it's going to get in the way of me providing more value, which means I'm ultimately going to make less money. So the theme does not necessarily provide a customer more value. That's my opinion. So I would, yes, use WordPress with a caveat, with a warning, with a qualification. Don't get into WordPress thinking I'm going to learn all this stuff about WordPress and it's going to make me a lot of money. I would do it as simply as I can. So yes, WordPress is great. It is semi-complicated, and you can really dive into that. You can get caught up into that. And some of the stuff, in my opinion, that you get caught up into in WordPress, learning it and trying to figure out and trying to tweak it and all that stuff, it can cause you not to make a lot of money. That's my opinion. So again, keep your focus on the things that will kind of keep you marketing. Okay, and Carolyn's asking, is there a way to change the logo on the payment page in GMP? Currently not, Carolyn. I know that's on the list of things that we want to improve, but currently not. And let's see. Telly says, can I just use MailChimp? Yes. MailChimp gives you 200, your first 200 subscribers free. I think they give you 12,000 emails. They also are very reasonable in terms of price. I have a MailChimp account. I have a GetResponse account. I have a GMP account. I have an Aweber account. So yeah, I use MailChimp too. So I have just about, if there's an autoresponder, I have it. And I use different autoresponders for different reasons. So yes, I would say yes, you can use MailChimp. Liana is asking, can we use GMP instead of WordPress, or do we need WordPress to use in addition to GMP? Good question. WordPress is for content. When you want to deliver content to people, that is what WordPress is for primarily. That's what it's built for. The platform is based to deliver content. You want to take what's out of your head and put it in somebody else's head. You want to communicate to people. That's generally what WordPress is. Now, you can turn WordPress into a sales page. I do that. I use Optimize Press. But you want to use GMP in order to sell. So you bring people to a page, a sales page or an opt-in page that doesn't have any other, what I call, distractions, right? If you bring people to a WordPress page, they can get distracted. If they have the WordPress bar turned on, they're going to see the WordPress bar. And so all of that stuff gets in the way of selling. And so that is why you want to minimize distractions. And that's why you don't want to have a lot of stuff on your sales page. And if you have to choose between a function, you sell with your GMP and you use WordPress to communicate information to content. You can use both for either thing, but WordPress is fantastic to communicate. Right? It's fantastic to write to people. It's fantastic to put audio and video and give people a place where they can find some other things on your website. But when you're selling, you should not be distracting me, your buyer, with a lot of other stuff, because my attention span, they say, is about 7 seconds long. When I come to your page, if you distract me, more than likely, I'm going to cool off in terms of whatever you brought me there to. And so the thing you're trying to do as a marketer is you're trying to keep your buyer hot. And you will distract them if you have a lot of stuff going on, and that's what WordPress does. So that's my long-winded answer to that. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Sue, check your mail. Check your mail. Okay, affiliate program, yes. Yes, there's an affiliate program. It depends on which one you want. I think I've got your email. I will email you some stuff out to you and all the links you need. So yes, Sue, we do have an affiliate program. I will definitely send that to you. Send that to you tonight. Can we deliver content through GMP? Yes, but it's not made for that. If you want to do video, you can do video any place because you take the embed code. Let's see, if you want to do video, right? And quite honestly, these days, there are some people, and this is why, a lot of people are using Periscope and they're using Facebook Live because people want to get stuff through video. Okay, so if I go to, I'm going to show you my screen here. Let me show you my screen. Okay, so if I go here, all I have to do is I have to go to the share button. I'll size this up for you. If I click that share button, this is going to appear. I click the embed. I can then take this embed and I can put this code any place where there's HTML. So if I know there's HTML here, I can put this code any place, and then what I can do is I can then have this code on GMP, right? So I could deliver video content on GMP. I think that if you're going to have a long-term relationship with your customer and you're going to have people coming back and forth to your website, you want to use a site like WordPress for content. That's my opinion. You sell with GMP. Sell, right? You take people off WordPress, you take people off Facebook, you take people off social media, and you send them to a sales page where there are no distractions. When you want to allow them to be distracted by your stuff, you send them to your blog, and that's what WordPress is. I don't mind if somebody comes to my site. I don't do as much blogging as I should. I'm trying to, but I don't mind if somebody's on my site and they're distracted by my stuff, which is why I really prefer, right, to try to move a prospect or an interested party off Facebook, off LinkedIn, off YouTube. And you got to move them to a place where they're going to have more than one thing that they might be interested in. And that's what your blog is for. That's what a system like GMP does not do, because it's not designed for that. Your blog is really designed to have lots of information to kind of keep your buyer occupied, make sure that they have everything they need, right? Your GMP and your sales pages, that's to sell, right? Okay, yeah, and Sylvia makes a good point for GTP also. That's right. Okay, let's see. Wanji filled out the survey. Okay, Wanji, send me an email, and then so it'll flag it to me, and then I'll check it out. Send me an email if you would, please. Let's see. I missed Rob's. Vern says I missed Rob's question. Okay, sorry. Where's Rob's? I missed Rob's. Where are you? I'm scrolling. I can't see Rob. Okay, so Rob asked, do I use shared hosting for my launches? No. I got myself kind of jammed up using shared hosting. No, I don't. And it's not because I'm too good for shared hosting. Let me tell you what happened. Okay, I started doing CPA marketing, in 2009, like everybody else. I was trying stuff out, and so I went to a training in California, and they said you have to have a virtual, you have to have a server, some kind of server, private server. And so I went and got one. And so that was $173 a month. And I didn't make any money with it. So I said, well, okay, well, I need to scale this back and I need to use the server for my business. And so I scaled down from 173 to 49. I went to Servant, right? I'm not, there's no affiliate link or anything like that. Servant. And that's where I use my hosting. I got used to paying $50 a month for hosting. And now when I need the hosting, I don't worry about it. I go to my hosting and I just set up a website. So I don't use shared hosting. I always have enough. And it happened because I really got used to paying 173, and so 50 was a bargain. And I've been doing that ever since. So I would never recommend long term as a marketer, if you're going to make your money from sending people to a website where they're going to be buying stuff from your site and they're going to be hitting your server and they're hitting your server during the launch, I do not recommend having shared hosting. All kinds of stuff could go wrong, and it happened to me. Right? Let's see. Yeah, Linda. Okay, so you didn't get the link either. Okay, Linda, do me a favor. I don't have the link with me. Do me a favor and send me an email, and then it'll flag it for me, and I'll know to get that for you. I can suggest you the one that I use, Rob, and the one that I use is called Servant. Servant.com or .net. Right, and have I had downtime? Rarely have I had downtime. And here is and again, yeah, I just put it in the box here, Bill. Yep, just put it in the box. Yeah, so great question. I appreciate that. Yeah, great question. Servant.net is my host, is a hosting that I use, and does great hosting. Fantastic. You know, do I recommend everybody just start paying $50 a month? I don't. And probably if I knew that was a lot back then, I definitely would not have done it. Right? I probably wouldn't have. But like I said, again, I was a little green when I started paying $173 a month, and then 50 seemed like a bargain. Yes. Okay. So Sue, you're asking about the affiliate link. Yeah, I'll be able to send you the affiliate link for all your stuff. You'll be able to use it. And then yeah, you'll be able to promote whatever you want. Yeah. So I think I've got your email, so I'll send those out to you. And let's see, Liana. Wouldn't I just have a link in my response email? Wouldn't I have a link in my response email with the content or video? You would have a link sending them to a page where, if you're talking about the after sale process, you want to send them to an opt-in page, right, with a video there, right? And you want to send them there with a link in the email. That's correct, right? So yes, you would have a link in your email, and that link would take them to the opt-in page, and you should have a video on that page. I agree. That's right. And let's see. Okay, so Tony is asking, would it be all right to build a download page with GMP? Yes. And then put it in GPD. I think you can do that. What you would do is, I think, let me just make sure this. Let me just kind of check this out here. Okay, so I think what you would do is they're still going to get the delivery, Tony, from GPD, right? From Genius Paydays. What you could do is you could redirect them with the autoresponder, right? You can do a redirect, and you do it. And let me show you. I thought I was showing. I keep thinking I'm showing you my screen, and I'm not. Okay, so you see that box there. What you'd be doing here is you're talking about the after sale autoresponder and then redirecting them from here. Right, and you'd put that download page in there, but they're still going to get the delivery email from GPD. Okay, yep, Julie, just email me if you could. All right, you guys have been great tonight. Great questions. Great questions. Any other questions? I'm going to kind of turn this off here now. Any questions? Yeah, Sue, I started a Facebook page for the PLR show, and sadly, I have not been able to keep up with it. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put. I don't know. What I may do is I'm thinking about starting. I don't know, something that's not on Facebook. Facebook drains me. So or I might just I might just do something with Facebook. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Wanji, same email that I think you've emailed me before. So let's see. You can send it to support at gainmindshare.com. Yeah, right on, Sue. I get you. I'm what I want to do is I want to put it together so that it is not a distraction, and I don't want to do it on Facebook. That's been the dilemma. So and so I've been looking at a buddy press. I've been looking at I don't like forums. I've done forums before, and so we may do that. Right on, Sue. Yep, great comments, great questions. I appreciate it. Any other questions? Any other questions? Well, everybody, it's about 10:03 Eastern Standard Time, and so we've gone about an hour, I think, and hope this has been helpful for you. Yeah, Reddit is wild, huh? So we will get together on Thursday, and Thursday is going to be traffic. So we're gonna be talking about one more traffic way to get traffic to your site, traffic to your offers, and traffic to your opt-in. And we will then get into a few more of your questions and answers on the weekend sometime. So with that, thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you being here. You guys have a good rest of the week, and I will see some of you, or hopefully all of you, on Thursday for our traffic training. Have a great night, a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.